Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom. On today's show, Duane Toews visits with Kendal Frazier, CEO of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Then enjoy this week's Kansas Soybean update. Next, Duane catches up with Matt Hunt and Keith Bryant to discuss NCBA's Young Producers Program. After that, it's this week's Kansas Farm Bureau update, and we'll end with Plain Talk featuring Duane and Kyle Bauer. Stay with us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Grain Sorghum. Growers working together. Find out more at kansasgrainsorghum.org.
Welcome to Farm Factor. Up first, Duane Toews and Kendal Frazier discuss the optimism cattle producers are feeling since the market's volatility has calmed down.
Duane Toews joining you once again here on Ag AM in Kansas, and a chance to catch up with the CEO of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, Kendal Frazier. And Kendal, we think about opportunities in the cattle industry. We're kind of turning a corner here a little bit. While at one of the big conventions that the country sees, there was a tremendous amount of optimism, really, and looking forward by cattle producers.
Well, Duane, what we've seen over the last 60 days is the market come back. We fell off last October. We've seen over the last 6 to 8 weeks, prices come back for calves and fed cattle. Basically came back from a 95-cent fed cattle market to $1.20. Now, we've been under some pressure this week as a result of the cattle on feed report last Friday, but there is more optimism in our industry than there was 4 or 5 months ago. And the cattlemen that I'm talking to at this meeting, one thing that we've had almost all over the country is abundant moisture, and even on the West Coast. So if you don't have grass, you can't raise cattle. And we've broken the drought now finally in California. So people are in a good mood coming into this convention, pretty good mood coming into this convention. Now, going forward, I think they're a little bit apprehensive about what the future markets are going to bring because we have greatly expanded the cow herd over the last 2 or 3 years. We're going to have a lot of protein on the market in 2017, 2018. We're going to have a lot of pork, poultry, and beef on the market. So there's some apprehension about how we're going to get that all sold, whether it's overseas or in the domestic market.
We think about those opportunities. You referenced that cow herd growth. Not only that, but a younger cow herd than maybe what we typically have because of heifer retention a couple of years ago.
We did, and as we went through the drought liquidation, the ranchers obviously sold their poorest performing cows first. So we have greatly improved the genetics of the cow herd as we brought back these heifers and new heifers and retained them and raised replacement females. In fact, we're producing a better quality product today than we've ever done before. We're producing, 75% choice and prime product now. We've greatly improved the quality. Demand's good for our product. And so the future looks bright. We've just got more product coming at us.
We think about the majority of the industry, certainly different for cow-calf producers needing that price elevation. The rest of the industry is looking at working on margin, and stability plays a big part in that.
It does, and what we've seen is the volatility that we had in 2015 and 2016, the end of 2015, a lot of 2016 has settled down. We don't see these wide swings in these markets every day. So as a result of that, we think that, and you've been talking to cattlemen, you can hear it, a lot of the fear has gone out of the market. It's hard to manage risk when you have a lot of volatility. So there seems to be a better sense of calmness about cattlemen now, more confidence in the markets and that the futures market's working right.
Well, our thanks to Kendal Frazier, CEO of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, joining us here on Ag AM in Kansas. Jamie, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Duane. Folks, come back after these messages for this week's Kansas Soybean Update.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply. Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
KFRM is one of the largest farm radio stations in the nation, dedicated to informing and entertaining rural listeners from northern Oklahoma to southwestern Nebraska. You can catch KFRM in many ways. Of course, 550 on the AM dial, streaming at kfrm.com, or on your smartphone by going to the TuneIn Radio app, or on Ag AM in Kansas on Tuesdays and Facebook every day of the week. KFRM, tune us in. You'll be glad you did.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Soybean Update.
This is the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Dwight Meyer from Hiawatha serves as first vice president and chair of the policy committee for the Kansas Soybean Association. Dwight, talk about the process that you and the board goes through in the general approach on state legislative issues.
We have over 15,000 soybean farmers in Kansas, and we try to get their input as to ideas and policies that we need to work on each year. From that, our board will meet and discuss some of the ideas, and then our policy committee will get together and come up with resolutions and come up with a priority list. Some of our more important concerns would be that we keep the current sales tax structure that we have with the ag exemptions that we have. We also want to continue the current use value appraisal system on farmland. However, our property taxes on farmland have increased tremendously. It's going to be interesting to see how some of the income tax bills that are coming back in are going to affect us.
Looking at biodiesel production as well.
Biodiesel is something that the Soybean Association has certainly been a big proponent of. We would like to continue biodiesel incentives for our producers around the state.
Another thing that people look at is a lot about infrastructure and looking at bridges, or at least probably more about the integrity of bridges.
We have numerous bridges in the state that were built back many years ago, and we are working with the Kansas Department of Transportation and the Soy Transportation Coalition Project in order to make the testing these bridges simpler and make sure that we're getting them tested correctly as far as for the weight limits that they can stand.
There's a lot of new legislators here within the state of Kansas who are just starting, not all with agricultural knowledge.
It is interesting that you can come to a breakfast such as this, or also we have our own legislative day, which we had in latter part of January, where we had a very huge crowd of legislators come to our luncheon, and we were able to converse with them, and several of our board was here, and we could bring up issues, and we got to meet the people and let them know that they can come to us as a resource if they have agricultural type questions. We also attend some other functions to try to get to know our legislators, and so that they also get to know us and they're comfortable with visiting with us as well as we are with them.
Those were the comments of Dwight Meyer from Hiawatha, who serves as first vice president of the Kansas Soybean Association, on this edition of the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Learn more at kansassoybeans.org. For Kansas Soybeans, I'm Greg Akagi.
Hope you enjoyed this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Stay with us after the break for more Farm Factor with Duane, Matt Hunt, and Keith Bryant.
This Medford, New Jersey school bus runs on biodiesel, and so do these. In fact, all of these buses run on clean-burning biodiesel, which is great because the more we use biodiesel in our heavy-duty vehicles, the less carbon pollution in our air. Think how great it would be if more of our school buses ran on biodiesel. More biodiesel, less carbon pollution. More is less. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Tarwater Farm and Home has been family owned and operated since its beginning in 1978. What you need for farm and agriculture, lawn and garden, clothing and footwear, and so much more. You'll be surprised at what you'll find in this huge store. They have what you need and lots of it. So come take a look. You'll discover that customer service is first and foremost. Always has been with the Tarwaters. Tarwater Farm and Home, 4107 North Topeka Boulevard. Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information. This segment brought to you by SureCrop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
We're back. Now Matt and Keith share information about NCBA's Young Producers Program.
Duane Toews joining you once again here on Ag AM in Kansas, and a chance to talk about the Young Beef Leader Program through NCBA. Matt Hunt joins us on the program today. And Matt, you kind of get on the ground floor in the original startup of the Young Beef Leader Program. Tell us a little bit about the goals and objectives from a national level for the Young Beef Leader Program through NCBA.
Well, thanks for having me. I was here on the ground floor. It was a really interesting time. I was just planning on being here to help get it started, and they kind of kept me on, so here I am. So what we did was the YBL is set up for younger people, younger producers, to try to get them more involved in the industry. I don't know if you noticed, if you looked around trade shows or anything like that, but there's not a lot of young people around. So we're trying to get the young people more involved and just give them an opportunity and a chance to get involved in leadership. It's available to people that are out of college, and the upper age depends on the state affiliate that you're with. We just let it stay with the state affiliate. They can say what old and young is, and that's how we did that. If you consider yourself to be young in the industry, we also will let them come in, and we will try to give them a helping hand so they can get started in the industry.
So tell me a little bit about the program and how it's designed to develop those individuals' talents to potentially be part of the leadership team in the years to come.
Well, to start with, if you get on the Young Beef Leaders Advisory Council, then you will be in each region's area. You'll be up front. You'll be giving reports. You'll be on conference calls, so you'll get to kind of see what goes on behind the scenes and what NCBA does. And it's really a great chance just to learn how to become more involved and what goes into being a leader in the NCBA. There's a 3-month rotation where people go from the regional representative to being on the exec board. When they're on the exec board, they take calls from everyone in the region, letting them know what young people, what's important to them. And then that's told to the person on the exec board, and they share with the exec board so that they know what the younger people, what the younger generation is concerned about.
And we also get the Kansas perspective. Keith Bryant joining us here. And Keith, you're on the Region 7, which includes a number of states, including Kansas. Tell us a little bit from your perspective about the Young Beef Leader Program and how you got involved.
So within the respective regions, after every 2-year term, it rotates to another state. So I followed up Jacqueline Wilson from the state of Nebraska. It was Kansas's turn to pick a representative, and I had the opportunity to become that representative. So that'll rotate every 2 years, and we'll work to work within the regions to help develop this program and provide networking, educational opportunities, and development programs for young beef leaders.
So as far as your perspective, tell us a little bit about how you became involved and what you see it doing for your future within the beef industry.
So I think that the great opportunity is the opportunity to network with other individuals from the states within your region as well as nationally. Chances to meet people that you don't get to on a day-to-day basis in the sector of the industry that you're in. And so I think that's a great opportunity for myself. Also, the education, the leadership development opportunities is a great chance to continue my development as a leader.
And as far as NCBA and the beef industry is concerned as a whole, an opportunity to bring young people into the mix and really diversify the organization.
Yeah, I think the great opportunity is just as we're transitioning. That's a hot topic. Transitional planning for farms and ranches, feedlots. I think it's an opportunity for us young producers to learn from the current leadership of the organization. So we have the opportunity to learn from them while they're serving those roles. We can continue to fill the pipeline so that when it's our turn and we're asked to step up into those roles, we've learned from the best and we have that opportunity.
And that'll do it with the Young Beef Leader Program through NCBA here on Ag AM in Kansas. Jamie, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Duane. Come back after the break for this week's Kansas Farm Bureau update.
Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego is driven by the spirit of American ingenuity. Come in for a new Chevrolet car, truck, or SUV. If we don't have exactly what you want, we'll find it for you. And we also have a great selection of used cars. We make sure you have an easy, fun, and transparent sales experience that saves you time and money. But if you want high-pressure salesmen and hours spent in the finance office, you'll just have to go elsewhere. Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're making car buying great again.
Working your cattle just got easier. Introducing the new Vet Gun delivery system, a new way to apply topical insecticides to your cattle. The Vet Gun lets you remotely treat cattle with effective parasite control, so you can do it just walking among the herd. It's that simple. The proven topical insecticide AML Vet Cap is used with the Vet Gun. It works fast to control horn flies and lice while minimizing stress on your cattle. Fast, easy, effective. Vet Gun. Check with your animal health supplier for availability.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Farm Bureau update.
New EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt will offer an understanding of agricultural issues at the EPA. Pruitt previously served as Attorney General for Oklahoma before taking his new post. AFBF Senior Director of Regulatory Relations Don Parrish says Pruitt's leadership is a welcomed change to the agency.
One of the things that I think Scott Pruitt means for agriculture is the opportunity to bring agricultural issues before the agencies in ways that we've not had before. He's had a close working relationship with Oklahoma Farm Bureau. And again, I think it is going to create a partnership that we haven't seen at EPA in a long time.
Parrish says Pruitt has a proven track record on agricultural issues from his time as Oklahoma's Attorney General.
And it's a track record of not just being Attorney General. It is a track record of trying to find solutions to environmental problems that's good for the environment as well as good for the economy and farmers in general. So that's a very positive step in the right direction.
He says AFBF will work with EPA to find a replacement for the Waters of the U.S. rule.
There's over 30 states that have challenged the WOTUS rule as not being consistent with congressional intent and really not working with states to make sure that rule does not overstep what Congress intended with regard to land use and water issues. So I do think WOTUS is going to be one of Mr. Pruitt's primary objectives and priorities, and we're looking forward to working with him on that.
Michael Clements, Washington.
Come back after the break for this week's Plain Talk.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
There's a lot of different ways of doing this woodwork, but all of it still takes both hands.
He had been told that by the orthopedic specialist in Enid, Oklahoma, that they would have to fuse his thumb.
And I said, no, cut it off, because I didn't want it sticking up. And I found out about the Kansas regenerative stem cell and went to Manhattan.
We were so impressed with how royally we were treated the first time we came to Kansas Regenerative.
We came in and he took out the stem cells. It took about an hour for him to process them before they put him back in my knees and my thumb. And we were out of here in about 4 hours and on our way back home. And I'm in here today to have my shoulders, my hips, and my back done. So I'll be able to go back to my sawmill, my shop, and do about anything I want to do.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Welcome back. Now let's see what Kyle and Duane are up to today on Plain Talk.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer with Plain Talk with Duane Toews.
Kyle Bauer, your fact or fiction question of the day. California leads the nation in food processing plants. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
It is a fact.
Yeah,
you know who's number two? I bet you'll never get number two.
I'll never get it. Really? Food processing.
Food processing plants.
Florida.
Wrong.
North Carolina.
Wrong.
Michigan.
Wrong.
Wisconsin.
Wrong.
I'm done.
Counting.
I'm done.
New York.
Really? Food processing.
New York State, second in food processing plants, and number 3 is Texas.
Okay.
The top 3 food processing plants.
Food processing, huh?
I'm guessing there's still a lot of small plants maybe in New York.
Well, the further north you get, the more likely you are to raise vegetables. And if you're going to raise vegetables, you don't haul them very far before you process them.
Yeah.
But, boy, when I was in upstate New York, I seemed to think mainly it was corn and a little bit of soybeans and alfalfa. Corn and alfalfa mainly because it was all dairies.
Huh.
Now, I only went in maybe 150 miles from Buffalo in. So, and then I was clear over on the east side, but there's no farm ground over there.
Not much.
That's mountains.
Yeah,
in fact, when we negotiated with Canada, Canada was a better negotiator than us. On their side, they got great farmland north of Vermont and north of New Hampshire and north of New York. And you come right to that line, and everything on our side is
junk.
just trees. It's just trees. That's it. So I think the Canadians,
who was in charge at the time,
they hoodwinked us.
They said, hey, this would be a good place for a boundary. We'll keep the good side, and you can have the non-productive.
You may not have known this. You knew that China was importing quite a few of our soybeans?
Yeah.
Yeah, you knew that.
Like 1 out of 3 rows or something like that.
I think it is close to that, right.
Yeah.
But the number is staggering. 2006, wasn't that long ago, about 10 years ago, right?
Yeah. In fact, it was.
Yeah,
10 years ago.
28 million metric tons, okay?
Okay.
28.7, all right?
Almost 29.
All right.
29 million metric tons.
All right. This year, in the 2016-17 marketing year, the one we're in right now, they're expected to get 86 million metric tons.
Oh, my.
3 times as much as just 10 years ago. That's a crazy number, boy.
Which is why a lot of folks, dealing with the Chinese is hard.
Must not be too hard.
Yeah, it is. It is hard, but that's why it's so important. Think of
You're
think
saying
of
it's
this.
worth the trouble.
If they had something in place that was costing the U.S. 10 cents a bushel.
All right.
Okay. You'd like, well, yeah, it's only 10 cents. Why worry about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, 10 cents a bushel on how many bushel?
Well, it's
on
metric
millimetric
tons.
tons.
86 million metric tons.
Yeah.
So you're right.
The
That's
deal
a lot of
is
money.
10 cents adds up to a lot of real dollars.
That would be even more than you make, Duane Toews.
Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom, and I hope you enjoyed today's show. See you next week on Farm Factor. We're here every Tuesday on Ag AM in Kansas.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.